made it all the way halfway through the show. We haven't really talked quarterbacks yet, so let's do it right now. We're going to have a meeting with the media tomorrow, by the way. Presumed #1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, has said he will not throw here in Indy, but does plan to throw at his pro day April 1st in Indiana. Meanwhile, Ty Simpson is here and expected to throw for scouts on Saturday. He's widely speculated to be the second quarterback taken in April's draft. And Adam, lots of quarterback-needy teams out there. Take us through those options. Let's start with Fernando Mendoza. Any chance the Raiders trade out of that spot at #1?
It doesn't sound that way, Laura. It sounds like he's going to be the pick at #1. He had his first official meeting with the Raiders at the Combine on Wednesday morning. He essentially is given 20 minutes. That meeting went longer than that because there were no other meetings scheduled, and the Raiders really are honed in right now on Fernando Mendoza, who is expected to be the #1 pick in the upcoming draft in April in Pittsburgh. It looks like he's Las Vegas bound. And as you mentioned, the next quarterback up figures to be Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson, who is going to throw this weekend at the Combine. A great opportunity for him to go out there to show the scouts the talents that he has with him throwing. And again, he is expected to be the second quarterback picked in this particular draft. But let's take a look at some of these other quarterback questions and issues that are out there right now. Daniel Jones, a free agent. Indianapolis working on bringing him back. Malik Willis, maybe the top free agent in this particular class. Kirk Cousins is going to be released on the first day of the league year. We have Fernando Mendoza in the draft, Ty Simpson in the draft. The quarterback carousel is always turning, and it will continue to turn throughout this offseason, Laura.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you look at that, Adam, and you only have the 2 names there in the draft that are really the cream of the crop at the top. We talked about Ty Simpson, and we sort of all know what's going to happen with Fernando Mendoza. So let's zero in on Ty Simpson a little bit, Peter. He's going to be throwing on this field behind us on Saturday. What's been the buzz in Indy this week?
He's got a real opportunity to solidify himself as that second quarterback and potentially being a first-round pick. Everyone is just saying, oh, Ty Simpson's #2. Mel Kiper has it. It's open. I mean, it's not a slam dunk yet, so let's go out there and actually compete and make sure you are the #2 guy. The word I've gotten from teams on Ty Simpson, cerebrally gifted. His father, Jason Simpson, was the coach at Tennessee Martin since 2006, the longest tenured coach in college football. This guy has been learning about football since he was 6, 7 years old. It's not the late Marv Marinovich or anything like that where you get handed the football in the cradle, but it's one of those deals where he has been talking about coverages and schemes and doing stuff at the line since he was in grade school. So everything from above the neck is great. The question is going to be able to bring it on Saturday, and we'll be able to bring it at the NFL level physically. Does he have the gifts to do so?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a real big fan. Look, his lack of an extensive resume notwithstanding, I think this young man is ideally suited for today's modern-day West Coast type of offenses that you see being run in Los Angeles, like you see being run in Minnesota, like you see being run in San Francisco. The kid is very, very skilled when he's under center, running the boot game, the keeper game, second-level throws, layering the football to the third level. He can drive it with velocity when necessary. He's a better athlete than you think. Now, I understand there were some ups and downs with him going from the first half of the season to the latter half. Then when you got back into the playoffs, you saw what he did down there in Norman. His team is down 17-0. And he comes back throwing some howitzers now and brings them back in that football game. Then he gets knocked out the next week against Indiana. I think, personally, now that he's healthy, now that he's put the weight back on, now that he's not dealing with a lot of the different ailments that he was dealing with, poor offensive line, 0 running game, I think this is the time for him to shine. And I think when this is all said and done, and then, Peter, as you just alluded to, once teams get around him and see what kind of mental horsepower this kid has, everybody gets intrigued by upside. Everybody does. We talk about it all the time. Look, there's the tape, there's the combine, then there's the infatuation that you get with upside. He has tons of it, and I think that is going to have people going, what price do I have to pay in order to get him? We can't sit back here at 21, 22, 23. I don't think he's going to last that long.
Really?
I don't. I just don't.
Man.
I think as we move through this,
I agree.
The price is going to go up.
Years and years we've seen the quarterbacks always
go
serve.
up.
Yeah.
Personally, that would be rich for me, but we know how you're like, you put it best. Quarterbacks go up. I think if I was a team interested in bringing him on as a developmental prospect, and that's what ideally for both him and the team I think would be the best outcome given the limited experience, a couple things that I'd want to see here in Indy or learn more about. One is size. He's a smaller quarterback.
Yep.
And for me, like, okay, I saw him listed at 6'2". I'm very interested. he really 6'2"? Like, what kind of 6'2" are we talking about? It shows up a little bit on some of the drops. And then I think the consistency, and Lewis, you alluded to this, I'd just love to hear him walk me through it. Not just over the course of the season, but sometimes in games, like drive to drive, you see him throw an absolute pearl from the pocket, and then the next play, panic under pressure and spray it. And again, he's a young quarterback. He didn't play a lot of football, but I would love to hear him walk me through, okay, how are you getting better? How do you see yourself developing and improving upon that, particularly the play under pressure, because that's probably what concerns me the most.
You mentioned that Oklahoma game. I was on the sideline for that game, and it was just so interesting because it almost felt like he was shell-shocked early, which makes sense. That Oklahoma defense is unbelievable. And it's almost like for him at times last year, he would get those shell-shocked, get like hit in the face almost, just whether for real or not. And then he would respond. Like you would see a little bit more come out of him as the game went along. And I'm curious how he answers some of those questions when those things get brought up.
Interestingly enough, they go down to Missouri, and he has got two of the baddest defensive ends in college football hunting him down and knocking the crap out of him, and he never flinches.
Tough.
It was like
I had a coach tell me today, go watch the Missouri tape.
Exactly.
So and apparently there's one throw, and I don't know it offhand. You guys would. There's one that is an all-time, and it just flicks the wrist.
That's right.
And it's like, that's the one to watch.
That's right.
The talent's there for sure. It's really interesting.
Here's the throw. This is the one I requested. Yeah, this is the one. And Lewis, this is what they were telling me. Just look at this one, and he hits it in a place where no one else can throw it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that game for me, I'm sitting there going, this kid is not only tough, he has got some really, really serious skills. Look, I think at the end of last year, what was he like? He was sub 200 pounds. He's now back up to over 210. I mean, he was dealing with some different ailments all season long. He had a tough season now. Tough season.
I'm glad you brought up the injuries because he was playing through a lot that never even really became that public. He's healthy now, though, which is most important.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep talking about Ty Simpson, don't worry, and Fernando Mendoza. We're going to give him his due as well. But let's turn our attention a little bit more to some of the talented corners here. This is where Lewis gets really excited.
Oh, boy.
Top cornerbacks made their way to Indy this week. LSU's Mansour Delane ready for Friday's workout. Tennessee's Jermod McCoy, on the other hand, has decided to go through interviews and medical while passing on the workouts. Of course, he's 13 months removed from an ACL tear. McCoy and Delane, the top available cornerbacks in this year's draft, according to our own Mel Kiper Jr. Here's the rest of the top five. Kiper has McCoy and Delane going 12th and 13th to the Cowboys and Rams. Also has Avion Terrell to the Seahawks, the final pick of the first round. New on NFL Live, I caught up with McCoy this morning, asked him how that rehab's going.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing everything. I wanted to get out here, but I just want to make sure I'm putting the best thing out. Been doing a lot of training back in OC, so I'm just going to put the best thing out in front of all the scouts.
How far away are you from the best thing?
I feel like I'm the best thing right now, to be honest with you.
You said that your goal for the 40 time is 4.3. Do you feel like that's possible coming off the ACL injury?
Yeah, it's for sure possible.
And
Good
then,
rehab.
So
Yeah.
when you think about what you have to prove potentially, especially coming off an injury, I mean, the tape speaks for itself, right? And there's a reason why you're projected to be in the first round. But what do you still want to show some of these teams?
I just got to show that I'm the same person that I was 2 years ago or a year ago.
Yeah, that person that he was in 2024, Field Yates, is remarkable. He was unbelievable. You didn't want to throw anywhere near him, right? So when we have to wait, of course, to see him at the pro day, we won't see him work out on the field here. The medical check's important, though, here in Indy, so that's a big piece of why he's here and meeting with teams. But what will teams be excited about with the progress that they hope to see at that pro day?
Yeah, well, first of all, Laura, I do think a lot of teams are hoping to see Jermod McCoy out here this week in Indianapolis taking part in all of the physical drills. I think if Jermod McCoy were fully cleared and we felt like we were getting the 2024 version of him, the range for him going off the draft board begins at number 5 overall with the New York Giants to add to that secondary. He is, to me, clearly the most talented corner in this year's draft class. He combines excellent size, terrific speed that he referenced to you, the potential for 4.3 speed with patience, great timing at the catch points. He has great ball skills. He is tenacious when he does intercept the football, and he was great during his one season playing on the field for Tennessee, but I have continually called him one of the great wild cards of this year's draft class because it's difficult for a team to actually pull the trigger on a player super early on in the class if you haven't seen him play football for going on 16 or 17 months now.
Yeah, it's a good point. I should also point out, too, that Mansour Delane told me he will not work out here either. So, unfortunately, for anybody who wanted to see him, although we've seen a lot more of Delane than we have of McCoy, you won't see him working out. Again, medical checks, interviews, also really important.